5:30 this morning, and it was rain,
Oh, what happened?
misty rain. I was at work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Good.
see that.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
Get rid of a table,
Yeah, she wanted to,
got rid of a table.
Okay.
okay,
Was that it? Yeah.
all right. Can you do prayer?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, before I call the meeting to order, I'm going to ask Ryan if he would open us up in prayer.
If you'd like, you can bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you and praise you, Lord, for this day. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for all your many blessings that you bestow on us. Lord, I just ask, Lord, you just give us wisdom and knowledge in this meeting that we had to make decisions for the county. We just ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I'll just remind everybody that we're streaming, and that if you do have something to say, make sure that you come to the table or the microphone standing, and I'll have them stop that.
Thank you. All right, I do call the meeting to order. We have approval for the regular minutes on July the 21st and the special meeting minutes on July the 30th. Any questions on that? If not, do I have a motion to accept both?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approval of claims for August the 7th. Any questions? If not, do I have a motion to accept?
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No old business. Under new business, we have 3 transfers from EMS. You want to talk about that, Doug?
So the 3 transfers, one was for a new ice maker that was purchased to replace the one that had quit working last year. I believe the second one was for a new computer for the new station. And then the third one was for payroll to get it through, hopefully through the end of the year.
Okay.
He added a fourth one.
Are they,
Which one? I don't know. I've done so many last week.
Yeah, he added a fourth one. Hang on. Let me make sure that's how I thought he did.
is that the 30,000 one? Is that the fourth one?
The 30,000 was the payroll one.
Okay, so we got the payroll. Yeah, so 30,000 for payroll. The 1619 is the computer.
That's
Did
for
you-
the new computer.
That's a computer.
And then the 2,000
Water heater.
ice maker.
The 2,050 is the ice maker,
And rent and utilities, yeah.
and then the 4,500 is rent and utilities. Right, so we have a total of 4. You guys see all those?
Yes.
Any questions on the transfers?
What's the utility damage? What's that?
It was to move out of rent to utilities with adding the new Arthur building.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the highway. That's not yours.
There you go.
My bad. That's all what?
All right. Okay, I think we got them all. Okay. All right, any questions on these transfers? If not, do I have a motion to accept? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we do have got this one transfer from the highway. Is this a phone box or
No, it's a flush hydrant.
flush hydrant? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just right outside of Stendale.
Okay.
So one of the brush cutters cut it off.
Cut it off. All right. Done a number of it. All right. Any questions on this transfer? If not, do I have a motion to accept?
I'll move.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on. We have jail management system. You want to explain this whole thing to us, sir?
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Basically, the Indiana Supreme Court Office of Judicial Administration, Office of Court Technology, have developed a jail management system. The jail management system is basically the system we use to track all of our inmates. We book them in the facility, everything that goes on with them, all their court records and everything basically is handled through that system. We presently pay Central Square for that, for jail management system. They also have the county's computer-aided dispatch and records management system. This system that the state has developed is free to counties. There's no cost involved with it on their end whatsoever, which which of course is better than the system that we're paying for. The sheriff and I demoed their system the other day. It appears to be a really good system. It's tied into all the other state systems, the court system, prosecutor, probation, clerks, everybody's tied together. It also ties together the counties that are users within Indiana on the system. So we can see inmates that's been in all the other counties that are on the system. Presently, they have, I think, 6 active counties on the system. Marion County is one of the big drivers behind the system. Locally, currently, I believe Martin County is the only one that's on board with it. Along with us looking at going to it, I know in our area, Davies County and Spencer County are both in the same same process that we're in with it, of looking to go to it. They don't charge to interface with any of our vendors. They don't charge to do any of those things, which of course Central Square does, because obviously they're a for-profit business and that's how they make their money. The idea on the state side is what they get out of this is able to pull statistics uniformly from jails. And really, that's basically all we're giving them access to, is that ability to pull their statistics that they want. It's funded by federal and state grants, has been since they started the program, I believe around 2 years ago. But they're in the process now of adding several counties right now. Their hope, of course, is to have all the counties on board. Personally, I'm not really sure how you wouldn't whenever you're looking at, paying for a very expensive system compared to having it provided for you at no cost. The only cost that would then be to the county going forward would be whatever the cost would be to interface with our aforementioned computer-aided dispatch and records management, because the state doesn't do those. But it would be to interface with Central Square so we can get our information back into the records management system. There is no contract for it. There is no cost on the county's part, as I said, as it's grant funded. There is a memorandum of understanding that has to be signed between the sheriff and the state. As I said, and it's something, if you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you can get out. It's totally, there's no cost involved. They will bring our current records into their system. The words escaped me, but basically, the records we currently have in our jail management system, they will convert them into that system, so we'll have those also. When we get the actual memorandum of understanding, I have a sample of one, but when we get the one actually drawn up for us, we'd get it to Val, of course, to look over and make sure that everything we're being told is true. But mainly, we just wanted to bring this to the commissioner's attention that we're looking to do this, and should actually result, when we're all said and done, in a significant cost savings to the county, I would think.
Okay. Any
Gentlemen have
questions?
any questions or anything?
You said eventually there's going to be a little bit of a cost, going forward.
It would be, and it's not, yes, there would be just with our current vendor, Central Square, because they're still going to be providing computer-aided dispatch to the dispatch center and records management. It would be an interface cost to where information can be shared between this new jail management system and those. Where right now, we're paying Central Square not only the software user fees, but we're also paying them to interface with each and every one of our vendors currently, that interface, and that's about 5 different interfaces.
Okay.
And the new state JMS would do those interfaces at no cost. They don't charge to interface with our vendors. Matter of fact, they interface, I think, with all but one of our vendors that we currently use already due to the other counties they're serving. So, but they don't charge a fee to do interfaces. Obviously, it's a little different on their side. They're not a for-profit company, but that's part of the revenue generating for Central Square, which we wouldn't have. But I expect that Central Square is gonna wanna charge for that interface, because they're gonna be losing all the fees over
Okay.
on the other side by going with the state's, no-cost system.
Okay. All right, no questions, but thanks for the information.
All right, thank you,
All right,
gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Tyler, you want to talk about your overtime policy?
Yes. So back in April, we attended a 911 summit, and one of the things we took away from it was other counties talked about their mandatory overtime policy. Right now, I mean, we've gone through all of our full-times, vacations. My sister and I, we pick up a lot of shifts just to, 911 doesn't stop, so we keep it operational. I mean, I worked Friday and Saturday night this weekend just to make sure, people can use time. However, we would like to have a mandatory overtime policy come in place, because when times we cannot pick up, we can call somebody in and always have somebody there. A lot of times some people aren't willing to pick up, which I understand, but this would help us out a lot. Nothing that we still plan on picking up shifts. We still plan on, accommodating our employees the best we can. But, there'd be some times that it'd be nice to have a little bit of help on that and a little bit of backbone to enforce that. Right now, my overtime budget is far below. We're no worries about going over that, and it's nothing that's gonna be abused by any means. There's pretty good rules set on that's nobody's gonna get burned out on it. It's just, like I said, a little bit more backbone, for to get shifts filled.
Okay. It's just something probably similar to other counties of what they have there.
Yes, yeah. Right, and then we'll have a point system, so, I mean, how we'll set up that you can get yourself knocked down on the list by picking up shifts.
Right.
So, the means is to, hey, incentivize, start picking, help each other out, and less likely you're gonna be called, so.
Okay. All right,
Yeah, that was my question. It says if no volunteers are available, overtime will be assigned on a rotating basis using a fair and equitable method, so
Right.
an equalization list, I guess, then, of.
Yeah, so
hours
like I said,
worked.
if, say somebody needs off, and you know what, this other person picks that up, then they're not gonna be on the top of the list.
Right.
Because like I said, everybody's working out to help each other out. And to be honest, my night shift crew, perfect. They really do a good job of helping each other out,
Okay.
Just getting a little bit more out of my day shift crew, so
Are you gonna have any kickback on your day shift on this policy?
we'll find out. And we'll handle the situation that comes up. I mean, right now, we have an open position coming up August. We have one full-time stepping down to part-time. We're taking applications and start interviews this week, and I mean, we've got a number of telecommunicators applying for it, so. I mean.
So you just
if they're not happy with it, there's seats.
Gotcha.
So,
Good. So how many openings you have right now?
right now, we just have one getting ready to come up.
Just one, okay. Okay. Any other questions on this policy? All right, if not, do I have a motion to go ahead and accept this mandatory overtime policy for 911 dispatchers?
I'll move.
Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, business by commissioners. All right, we do have a settlement and release on litigation. Val, I'm going to ask Val to talk a little bit about this.
Okay. Back in around 2017, the county entered into an agreement with RQAW Corporation to design improvements to County Road 350. And through the process, they failed to realize that we could not enter on to 5661 where they designed it across from Shady Lane because it was too close to the interstate. When that arose, they believed that they could work with the state to correct that problem, but obviously they didn't. And as a result, in order to continue with the project, we would have had to acquire additional right-of-way and move south on 56, which would have entailed a considerable additional cost to the project, none of which would have been funded by the federal government under the circumstances. So in 2022, the county filed suit against RQAW up in Marion County, and they in turn turned around and brought in First Group Engineering, Inc., which we didn't know, but they were subcontracted to help acquire the right-of-way along 350. And so what this settlement is, RQAW has agreed to pay the county $100,000, and First Group has agreed to pay the county $65,000 for a total settlement of $165,000, which basically recoups the county's cost for the additional right-of-way, or for the right-of-way on 350 that we did acquire, and most, if not all, of the attorney fees and costs involved in the litigation. And this is a release. That means we're done with it. They're done with us, likewise. So that's the resolution of the litigation. We still have the right-of-way, obviously, and we'll retain that. And the question will, in the future, if that develops in that area, we'll have it. It's just that we'll never be able to enter onto 56 at the Shady Lane intersection.
Yeah, this kind of been a long time coming. Glad it's.
Oh, yeah.
Any questions on this release agreement? Okay. All right, if not, do we have a motion to go ahead and accept? Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, Christie, you have a hire?
Yeah, I would like to hire Ron Murder for one of the site attendants.
Okay. Any thoughts, questions? If not, do I have a motion to accept this hire?
I'll move.
Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Christie, you got anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't really. I'll give a little update. The tuck pointing's going well. No other issues. They're moving along, if not on schedule, ahead of schedule. So doing really good, no complaints. The Winslow Buildings sign is getting put in.
Saw that.
So they're starting to work on that. I think they did I haven't been over there. My impression was that they did the foundation work last week, or we're starting on it.
They did, it looks
Looks
Yeah.
good, I saw
I
it
saw
too.
it yesterday.
Yeah, looks
Looks
nice.
I don't think I have anything else. I got the streaming fixed.
For now. These hard rains that we had last week, do we have any leaks or anything like that that you know of?
I haven't been told of anything.
Okay, good.
No.
All right, and we're still working on the courtroom ceiling.
Yes, so actually, I think there was supposed to be a trial that I think has been postponed or dismissed. I'm not sure exactly what, but
Okay.
I believe they may be able to get to it this week, to just that certain area. The dehumidifiers are helping quite a bit.
Good,
So we're working on that.
good. Okay. That's it?
I think that's it.
Okay. Doug, got anything?
We met with Josh in the solar field the other day. They are gonna fund our rescue task force project for the county.
Yep.
So hopefully funding will be this week, and then we'll purchase equipment and be able to start that process countywide, hopefully in the next month or two. So,
Okay, good. Anything else from the sheriff's department? No?
No, not currently.
Kyler, got anything else?
Tonight, the sheriff's department's putting on the first night out, which is a good event for the public. We're helping set up, taking the generator out there, set up inflatables. We're gonna land a helicopter out there, and it's gonna be
Oh,
pretty
nice.
good. 5:30 to 8:30 at night. So
Good.
anybody's available, come out to Pike.
I hope the weather holds out. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Josh?
We started paving this morning, so community crossings. And then, so hopefully we'll get a start and see if we can't make a run at getting some few roads knocked out. Also too, I give you guys a paper of the 10-year bridge plan. We are a little bit ahead of schedule as far as what the engineer firm has told us where we need to begin and end. As you go down through the list, the ones that's highlighted in yellow, I don't know if you guys can see them. Them will be the main bridges. I got a price estimate from CLR on them bridges. There's also two other companies that's gonna be putting in prices as well. I just use these prices. On them bridges, it is buying land, everything that comes with it when they get ready to put it in. So that's why they are a lot higher. The other one is County Road 500W. That will be a federal aid bridge. Its estimated cost is $3.1 million. So Mel's gonna apply for it coming up this fall.
Okay.
So, other than that is about it. We got the road closure at, south of Winslow on the railroad tracks, so,
I actually heard that on the radio this morning.
yes, yep. And then Sherry put it out on the press dispatch last night for us, but, I mean, we have nothing to do with it. And that one, NDOT does not either, so, railroad company tells us when they're gonna do it, and we ain't got much choice, so.
They still have the county roads closed now?
Some of the, yes, so there's gonna be like 5 county roads that's gonna be closed also. The one by ADM is not, but my phone was ringing off the hook over the weekend, so that's why I asked Sherry to put out something on Facebook, so, no good deed goes unpunished, but I just thought it was best that maybe if someone could read it and get a hint of where to go around, so. But yes, their line road was closed. I don't know if they've got it back opened yet, so. And then, as far as the runaround by ADM, hopefully the sheriff's department's gonna be running it, try to keep everybody, especially the first day of school, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody gets hurt. So,
Okay, anything else?
that's it.
Where'd you start paving at?
Across from the garage there by Pleasant Ridge.
Okay. All right, Judy?
Budget workshops start next week, be on Tuesday and Wednesday. The first day, we will have FSG with us. They're the new financial group that the council hired, and you guys all went on with it. We're ready to submit today our paperwork to find out what our actual certified NAV will be. And that is pretty essential with all of the changes that have happened, so have a better handle on what the budget should be after this week, I would say.
Good. Okay.
Nope.
Anything? You got anything?
Judy, where does the council stand on the wheel tax?
I think that they are studying it hard. There's certainly some indications that we may not be able to avoid it, as from what I'm seeing. And they definitely are looking at it.
Time sensitive, too.
It is, it needs to be done in a timely manner, but there is a way that it could possibly be extended. But I think they're better off if they move this year.
Okay.
Not something they want to do.
Anything else? Christie, you got anything else? Okay. All right, business by public. Thomas Leland? Yeah, please.
morning.
Good morning.
I'm here today to represent America 250, and my purpose is probably threefold. One, notification. Secondly, information. And number three, collaboration. So first of all, do you guys know about America 250?
Yeah.
And so I have some information, you may be even more than I do. As far as notification is that here in Pike County, we have a group that is a part of the national, the state, and now we have a group here in Pike County trying to help network in Pike County for that purpose. Then, as far as collaboration, in our meetings, we've been meeting about once a month. We're asking, is the city of Petersburg interested in collaborating in trying to figure out what we can do to commemorate and celebrate this year? What about Pike County? What about other groups? So I've taken it upon myself as a member of that group to reach out and, well, how do I get a hold of a group like this? Well, show up to a meeting. So that's why I'm here. So I guess my ask is, would Pike be interested in being an active participant or supporter of this project? And who or where can we go to collaborate or coordinate our efforts?
Good questions. I think as a county, I think we should. That's my opinion, guys. I mean, you guys feel free to talk. I think we should, I agree. We're just going to have to figure out if we decide to do that support, you know, who is the person to contact, things like that. So, but yeah, it's 250 years, I get it. But I'm for supporting it, but I'd like for you guys to talk.
Yeah, what type of support
Yeah.
does the group need, or what it's looking for?
Yeah, are we talking money only? Are we talking, you know? Facilities, right.
I spent a career working in the government, so that's absolutely the first thing on my mind, is I'm thinking, I have to come here with a budget and request. And actually, I think we're taking a kind of a step backwards, and the concept is if you're supportive of a project like this, what, if anything, how can you be a part of it? So I'm trying to strategize, how can you do it without a budget? And there might be things that could be done without a budget, but I don't know how Pike operates.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm thinking of government organization or entities will do a proclamation. I think that would cost you guys nothing. Now, I don't know if this is the group that does it, but could Pike
Sure.
have a
That's easy.
proclamation like the national has, like the state has? We're supporting this. Now, how else can we support it? Now, networking. We have events. We'd like to network and get that out. So if Pike has a newsletter or a website, or if I have an event coming up and I can get that on your realm of notification, that might be something that costs next to nothing. So it could be that kind of thing.
Sure.
It's possible that Pike County has a pot of gold. I'm kind of doubting that, but it's possible. So maybe we want to support this, but you know what? We can do that, but you know what? We want to give you some money so that you can go get some flags made, or, you know, something else. We want to have a parade, and we don't have a trailer to pull behind us, to put SAR, Sons of American Revolution, Daughters of American Revolution, Children of American Revolution in there for the parade. So there could be a lot of things that you could do. So that's what we're doing at the meetings, is trying to figure out what, if anything, we can do individually, and how can we collaborate with others. Another thing that comes to mind for me is that I've seen some pictures online of buildings that get lit up, like red, white, and blue. And to me, they're very impressive, but maybe I'm just, sensitive to that. But that would be something that would have a cost to it, but it might be something that wouldn't be very costly, and it might be something that we could use not only for an individual event, but over time for some other event. And so it's that kind of thing. The project is designed to be, the bicentennial was more of a birthday. Everybody's thinking, this day, we're gonna celebrate, we have fireworks, we have red, white, and blue cupcakes, and this project is trying to, I'm thinking of terms like inform and enlighten, maybe even inspire our citizenry towards this pretty important semi-quincentennial, I think is how they say it. I just say America 250 because that rolls
Yeah.
easier.
A lot easier.
For instance, our first event was June 14th. And some people might not know, well, what's the big deal with June 14th? June 14th was a birthday of our U.S. Army. And for me, I'm grown, and I'm trying to think, how come we're celebrating that before we're celebrating our birth? And it's like, well, it's because our nation had to fight for our freedom, had to fight to put together this idea that we're trying to live under government of the governed. And, okay, well, that's the kind of thing, by doing the events, that's what we want to engender or promote, kind of patriotism and civil discourse and that kind of thing. So it's something that could go on, and that's why we're taking time to do it, as opposed to looking at a date or a birth, a celebration or a recognition on a date. We're looking to try to expand it. Pike County, we're kind of trying to put at least one event a month, even if we can just do that much. The collaboration side of it is the national has kind of assigned the states to figure out what they're doing in their state. Indiana has set up a website, and then they've kind of pushed that down to the to the county level. But if we have an event, like we've had a couple of them already, we're counting on the 14th, we had a dedication of a Liberty Tree at Hornady Park. The following month, 4th of July, so our event that we were sponsoring or kind of promoting was the Otwell Cornhole Tournament. So they made some red, white, and blue cornhole, boards, and so we're looking to maybe once a month have something, even if it was something like somewhere in Pike County, a building that you guys have jurisdiction over, you're gonna light it up red, white, and blue for the month of November. Now, is that gonna be free? No, but is a small expense, maybe, but so we're looking for ideas. What can we do to?
Okay. Well, you guys have meetings once a month, or?
Once a month, about once a month. The next one is the 26th of August, and we meet over at the Historical Museum. And so we get together and try to figure out what we're gonna do for the next month, how can we strategize. The idea of our little group is not to manage everything that's going on, but it's to more network, let everybody know. So if we have an event, we put it on the state website, And now it shows that Pike is doing something this month or next month or the following month.
Well, Leland or Thomas, once you guys have your meetings and get some ideas, usually when requests come to us, there's ideas and what you want from us, which I know there's a lot of things there that we can do for free, proclamation, like you say, we can put it on our website, we can do a lot of different things. So, way I see it too, let's continue to talk, to work together, and bring ideas to us, and we'll see what we as a county can do. That's how you guys feel.
The other thing I was thinking of is, have you been in the school corporation to ask them to educate the students at Pike or even the elementary schools?
Good thought.
Oh, I'd love to get them involved, but I always have a hard time getting in there. Security is amazing there, and I can't even get in the building.
Yeah.
I think as far as the county goes, if, I don't know if the state level has any kind of traveling displays or anything like that, I'm sure you could put displays in the courthouse, or we do stuff like that for other organizations, or signage out front, or you mentioned a flag. If there's a flag that we could fly,
Yeah.
None of that would be a problem.
Because there was a display in May?
Yeah. Daughters of American Revolution.
And,
Yeah.
and that was part of Daughters American Revolution with
Yes.
America 250, putting that was a traveling display.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing. And part of it is if we have a foothold, a contact, phone or email, if we have to, we'll do snail mail or appearance. I'm thinking people not sitting on that committee might come up with even better ideas than just a few of us that meet. And if we can even connect by email, that would be a step forward for us.
Okay. Well, I'd say, just stay in touch with us, come up with ideas, bring them to us. We'll do what we think we can do.
And I do have some buttons here.
Okay.
And it's kind of two levels that I'm thinking. One is that I'd like to have decision makers have these, so it kind of reminds them of what we're doing. But maybe even more important, if you have somebody that would actually wear these in the highways and byways of Pike County, might help people
There you go.
think about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Thomas, for coming in and. It don't matter.
That's the national, this is the national, this is the local.
That's fine. Thanks. Thank you.
This is the national, this is the local.
I like that one.
You'd wear one, right? This is the national, this is the local.
All right.
Yeah, we can put it on the side of Josh's truck.
Hey, there you go.
Thanks, Tom.
Hey, thanks a lot. All right, any other business by public?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darren.
Always steady. Trying to hand these out to each of you then.
Oh, she.
Go around twice. Good morning. I'm Darren Hubble, and I'm with the Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. It's a big mouthful, basically to say that the SBA has been charged by your federal government to provide your tax money back to your citizens when they have natural disaster. So if you think of it from a standpoint of economic development and stability, it's trying to keep people in their homes who may have been pushed out of that same house or property or land or agriculture, any kind of damage that's happened to their properties, whether it be business, homeowners, or even renters. So they have programs to where businesses of scale can get up to $2 million based on damages that they may have sustained during natural disaster. Depending on the size of the employer, you know, literally physically the size of their industry and/or their employment, how many people they employ. If you factor in somebody who runs a small business in a very small community, they may be the only business in that community, and if they get washed away, so does the other, you know, 100 persons that are working for them. If they decide not to rebuild and they decide to move away, that's 100 people that's actually damaged by that instead of just the one individual owning the business. So as far as economic development, what we realize is that same business owner probably has a house that's right down the road that got damaged as well. And so they're trying to put their life back together, not necessarily just their business. Flash forward to anyone who's sustained, say in this area, which is the reason I'm here, the state of Indiana has declared this area, this county, and surrounding counties to be that site of a disaster for the flooding that most recently happened. Now, there's still ongoing idle declarations for the tornadoes that kind of came through here back, March, I think it was, you know, prior to the April ones that happened further south. They've been all over the place, and honestly, you know, you guys are in kind of on the outside of it, but you're in the new tornado alley, as they call it, you know, and I can expect, and everyone should expect, that they're going to have continued weather systems in this area further south. I'm no meteorologist. I probably get it more right than they do on the news every morning, but the opportunity here for people is that they can get money that they can instantly start rebuilding their lives. Whereas FEMA, if it's a federal declaration, and insurances, as hard as they work for people, sometimes they don't come all the way through, right? They don't get, the homeowner or the business doesn't actually get everything that they're due or would make them whole. And this is an opportunity for them to get money immediately. We can get money in people's hands 6 days. It's right now it's 2.8% is the normal interest. First year's free, meaning that you don't accrue interest and you don't make any payments in that first year, but you have the money. And the purpose of this, again, is just try to put people whole and keep them in their communities and keep them thriving in their businesses. So I'm here, much like Thomas, and trying to inform people such as yourselves that might be approached by persons who've been under flood conditions or will be in the future, and that you guys have another arrow in your quiver when someone comes to you saying, I need help. And I can't carry all the water, you know, and so what we do know is that a hungry mouth, a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? And so people need to speak up and say they have issues and lean in on people like yourselves that might have answers. And so for some, maybe not all, this is a pretty good answer. The people who use it, who work it, it works well. And so there's only a couple caveats to it that keeps people from being able to take a loan like this. And that's basically not being able to repay. I don't know anyone who'd loan anyone anything if they couldn't bring it back, right? And then the secondary is if they've ever had a governmental loan that they've defaulted on, whether it be school loan or whatever that looks like for them. And those are two caveats that are pretty clear for the government not to continue loaning money to the person who's not demonstrated they could repay it. Some of these notes go 30 years. There's no prepayment penalties for businesses or homeowners or renters. And so again, it's just to put them back in order, get them whole, get them, their life back going, because it's connected to so many more things than just the business, just the house, just the property. You know, you got kids in school, you got everyone's life that they're living connected to where they live it at. And so, there are those people who've been, touched by flooding down here, and, so we aim to, try to get this information into their hands so they can make a decision for themselves, so.
Does the county or the state have to declare a state of emergency before they're eligible here?
Right, the state has to declare that. So it's a governor's request that it's a state emergency, or a declaration of natural disaster is really the term. And once that's done, then that kind of puts in what level of support that's required. A federal declaration, so all of these start off as local, state, and then federal if it grows to that level. And it's assessed by assessors for whether or not FEMA comes in to assess damage, and at that point, that would be a federal declaration. Typically, that would have already happened by now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we have an area here in Pike, the Algiers area, where it got hit pretty hard.
Right.
You know, for a tornado and
Right.
destroyed a church, and
right,
we tried to get some FEMA money, but
Right.
the FEMA came back and just say that not enough damage.
right.
You
Not
know,
widespread enough.
It's not
Yeah.
widespread enough, but it totally destroyed a church or someone else's house or whatever, but
That's their
they
life,
can't get any
right?
money, so
Yeah.
they're struggling.
Right,
The church now is struggling, trying to build back.
Sure.
And they're in the process, but they're still struggling, so.
well,
can't help them.
non-for-profits are included in this as well, so, they have a little different caveats that go along with their, application process, but I would say, and this is what I tell everyone, so it's pretty easy to get to these sites. It's just sba.gov/disaster. And once you get on that page, you can look for your state, you can look for your county, you can look for your declarations that might be actively ongoing. The EIDL, which is the last paper you got there, the EIDL loans are the Economic and Industry Development loans. And so those are really widespread because, let's say agriculture, you may not realize your loss for the end of the season. You know, when you put it in the barn and you realize I'm this short, you know, due to that storm, that's when you really recognize your loss, or when you go to resell even, you know, when you take it to market. So many of these loans actually are ongoing for the EIDL process. So to answer your question, sir, they may fall into one of those declarations for that area if it was declared by the state. If the governor recognized that area as a disaster area. So, I mean, I could walk anyone through that process if someone wanted to check on with them. If someone gave me the information, I could follow up with that community or that community leadership, and we could work together to try to solve that for them. When I was just in Kentucky, Mayfield got hit by a 2021 tornado that destroyed part of their town, you know, and it went all the way through there. And so when I was there, they kept referring back to that. And it was, I mean, I tried to be empathetic as possible. However, we're not in 2021, and this is not the same response as what the government had in 2021. So even these many months that we're talking about, this program is growing, and the support that it's received through some areas to where FEMA may be losing some of its ground, you know, in some of its action and capability. We're picking up that slack, and so they see a true purpose in this program. Again, that's taxpayers' money coming back to them. This isn't something that's that the government's making money on necessarily. You know, they're getting it back over the term of the loan, but this is these persons' tax monies coming back to them in a form of caring for the people. So I feel good about the program, and everyone who's used it has done well with it. Many people have started up their companies for a long time now through the SBA, you know. It's proven itself as something that's kind of stood in the gap for a while for folks to try to start their development, and this is a way that we can kind of continue supporting them in that venture, so. Any other questions that I might answer?
Any questions?
Right.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other business by public? I see none. All right. Do you have a motion to adjourn? Second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye. Okay, we have another meeting right after this, so